Hello there, I am Anva back with you. In today's episode, which is my third, I wish to take you for a tour of my birthplace and the surrounding tea plantations in Sri Lanka. I was born and bred in the Dikkoya tea planting district on a beautiful plantation called Osborne Estate, which is surrounded by other plantations, namely Lathan Tea and Castlereagh. Since Osborne lost his tea factory when I was a young school leaver in the 1960s, let me call it the tea garden without a factory, that is Osborne. As a respect to my fascinating journey across the length and breadth of some of the greatest plantations in Sri Lanka, I thought I must visit the place I was born. I took the time off to visit the place before I embarked on my next scheduled journey to a real factory. Osborne Estate was the core of my dream, which had been haunting me for a very long time. Even time could not erase the memory of this small place which I had been living throughout my life. The estate is sandwiched between a pair of mountains, looked so ordinary and monotonous. No one could believe it had taken such a deep-rooted passion in my heart. The estate did have a beautiful tea factory in the early 1960s last. I faintly remember it as a red-colored building, which in the past had produced its own electric power, from which the house I lived used to get some electricity in the 1950s. I remember the power was very low, the lights used to be very dim, just sufficient enough to light up the bulbs, until we started receiving hydroelectricity much later. In 1965, I remember the estate was amalgamated with Moray Group in the Muscalia district. That was a bit far away. Initially, the leaf was transported to Moray factory in Muscalia on an experimental basis. Subsequently, after a few years, the manufacture arrangement became permanent and the redundant Osborne factory was dismantled altogether. This proved a huge cost-saving success and also profitable to the owners, since Moray was fetching very high prices for its mark of tea. I vividly remember the unique name board on the boundary of the estate made of iron, each name pointing to its direction intended, in a typical English style of the olden days. This type of name boards cannot be seen anymore in Sri Lanka. The present board, as can be seen everywhere else, does not have the classic features in them, I was sad to recollect. As a mark of respect and remembrance of my late parents, I visited the place where they were buried. There were no signs to or mark. Tea bushes have come up on the spot where my parents found their final resting place. Strangely, a broken piece of rock, which looked like an open book, had found its way close to the burial ground. I spent some time reminiscing my childhood. A river which was fuller and larger has become a small stream, thanks to the Castlereagh Dam which came up subsequently, curtailing the flow of water. I remembered we used to go there fishing and always came back empty-handed. Of course, we collected tadpoles in water bags and left them elsewhere, some thrill we had. In addition, we went looking for precious stones. As the talk went on, that valuable gems were found in the riverbed. Here too we collected precious stones by the tons to find out later they were just ordinary colored stones. Looking at the twin mountains, a landmark of Osborne, I remembered having climbed up the first mountain one day with my brothers. It was a very dangerous place to go, as there was not even a footpath and we had to cut through shrubs. Having climbed to the top, we looked at the scene below, the steep mountain, which was terrifying. We did not have anything to mark our thrilling and adventurous climb, so some of us removed our vests and tied them on trees in place of victory flags. On the way back, our pet dog, we called Blackie, fell down into a pit full of shrubs. We could not find him though we knew he must be there somewhere. As it was too dark in the evening, we returned home without him. We were very sad. Our pet did not find his way home. We were very sad during the next 2 days, talking about the happy days we spent with the adoring animal. On the third day, we got some estate workers to go with us and look for our poor friend. We went to the exact spot we lost him, and after a frantic search and shouts, we heard faint whimpers of him emerging somewhere from the slope. At last, we located him in a thick shrub jungle, and the workers slowly pulled him out of the deep drain covered with jungle growth. He looked awfully weak, but the look he gave us melted our heart. He seemed to say, "Thank you with you all," with his wagging tail and tearful eyes. We were so glad to march him back like a hero returning home. Blackie lived with us for another 5 years or so, and one day he vanished from the face of the earth, never to be found again. Sometime later, we heard he was found dead at a spot far from our house and had been buried by estate workers in the same spot. None of us ever saw the remains of him. I made a quick drive through the places I frequented in my childhood before leaving with a heavy heart, full of past memories. On my way to my next scheduled journey, I could not help stopping over to watch the castle reservoir, the surroundings of which has remained the same over several decades. I know I am an amateur on a learning curve. I am trying to correct mistakes I know I made in my previous videos, so please bear with me. If you like this video, please click, make your comments. Thank you so much. See you again in my next one. Thank you.